Hello, it's Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Coming here with the blog post we want to share with you. This is, of course, we review the latest and coolest in social media and technology. This is something I found that's very interesting, great for clients, and different social media management tools that you want to take and do. Now, this is called Crawlytics.com. That's Crawlytics.com. You can see the title here. You can literally go to that address and find it. And it's very simple to sign in. You log in with Twitter. And what this will do is go into your website. It will scan your website and give you reports on how much each of the pages or postings that you've done on a website have been shared with the social networks. And what's really cool is you can see how everything works, how everything runs through well, we'll get into it here in a second. Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. You can take it. It's a brand new site that's just up and out. You can take a look at some of the different plans they have right now. I don't expect these to be free for long as they grow and people start checking out their stuff. But the data is awesome. It'll crawl you and scan your website. It'll give you live updates and reports, more scans each week, access other reports, all that good stuff. So let's take a look at what this will take and give us. Now I'm going to show you a report that I took and had them do. It took about 10 or 15 minutes to run the report. You can see there's a credits area. If you retweet their stuff, you get some credits. There's some other different ways to get credits at week by week, etc., etc. I imagine they're eventually going to come out with a pay program for this of some type that you pay for, but it's definitely well worth hopefully whatever they're going to charge. There's a reporting section where I can keep track of older reports that are in here. And what this does is it runs a report. You can see here it gives me a summary of a report status, shows that this one is finished. And this is for the ChrisVossShow.com. Now what this is doing is going into my website, the ChrisVossShow.com. It's measuring all the shares between Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, isn't that cool? Stumbleupon, and Pinterest. And also Delicious and Dig are on here also. And what it does is it creates and accumulates all those shares and shows them to me in a total figure you can see here. So we have close to 400,000 shares on the Chris Voss Show, which is pretty freaking awesome. Shows the number of pages that are added and shows the time it took to do it, which wasn't that big of a deal. Now, what's interesting is it starts drilling down into some of this data in some really cool ways that I really like. This isn't too interesting to me, but I like it. You can go into some of the different areas of your website, and you can see the different shares at the different levels. And we can see here, graphic-wise, how what sites contribute the most in shares to the Chris Voss Show. You can see here that Twitter, of course, is a major dominant force. LinkedIn, look at that, major dominant force in sharing on the Chris Voss Show as compared to Twitter, or Facebook. Now, you can see Pinterest is starting to come up. Stumbleupon is going to come up. I got to be honest with you, I've ignored Stumbleupon for a long time. I've used it on and off, and so this should be a lot higher. Google+, I love Google+, of course, but, there you go. So you can see here some percentage bases based on the percentage of all of your shares that you have that have come from these different networks. And you can see how they correspond and relate to each other, and where most of your share traffic is coming from. You can see shares by content type. You can see this as we go around. I believe this might give us, well, it looks like what it's showing us is image, text, ping, HTML, which medium your shares come from. I'm not sure what sort of data this is giving us or if it's accurate. So, and like I said, this is still a new site. There's a sunburst tree map that they give us, and this is pretty intensive. It wasn't working earlier, and we told them we were going to view it, and they said they'd throw some computers at it. Looks like it's working now. The site's becoming very popular, of course, and as they're going through some growing pains, most likely. But I'm very impressed with what they've put up so far. I've talked with some of the developers, and they seem like a great group of folks. So the chart here will show you a great visual view of how your shares are split up when approaching from a search engine's point of view. And it shows you the number of shares and areas and how big they are, etc., etc. which is pretty freaking cool. Let's see if we can go to the bigger share side of this with labels. Looks like this is going to be beyond what we could normally fit on our screen, which is pretty freaking wild. Let's page down. Yeah, so it's a giant, huge thing, and of course there's a lot of shares on my website, which is really cool. So we'll go back out of that. But you can see here, this gives you a whole lot more data, and I'm sure as they develop this product and it becomes more fluid and they add on different features and stuff as it grows, it's going to become even cooler in how it presents itself. I'm not sure in the thing that we saw was, I think we just saw the blue part. I'm not sure we saw the other areas there, or if they would show up. Like I said, they were finding they were really popular this morning, and they were having trouble with servers. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops. So be sure to check back to that. As always, with a lot of this software that we check out, it's usually fairly new, and you usually don't want to judge it initially. Except this I really like. I've been very impressed with this so far. Now, this is what I am really impressed with too of this software from Social Crawlytics. This shows you the results of each of the pages on your website. So we can literally go through all the different pages and we can see which ones are my top shares. So in this case, we can see that the 46 stages of Twitter, and of course this is on the Chris Voss Show, it would be the URL that precedes this link. And what that does is that tells us that it's had 475 Facebook shares over its time, 5,209 tweets, 1 dig, 1,452 LinkedIn, 23 delicious posts, 0 stumbles, 43 Google Plus shares, 1 Pinterest, for a total of 7,204 shares. That one post has been shared that many times. Now, given I could go to the page on the Chris Voss Show, the 46 stages of Twitter, and I can see this information, grab a calculator and figure this out, but this is showing me this data in mass and cumulatively in a very easy format to take and read. I'm going to show you something cool here in a second that makes this even more awesome. Now, across the top here, I can click on these things and change the sequence. If we go to the last, we'll see that, you know, you go down here and some of the last ones are like 343 shares that might have. So we'll go back to the first. What we can do is by clicking on this top part, we can switcheroo the fields on how they populate. So we can go from last to first and first to last, or maybe I should say top to bottom or bottom to top. Now, you can also do this with each of these other segments of the social media networks. So if you want to see what your top Pinterest post, in this case it would be your lowest Pinterest post. If you want to see what your top Pinterest post is, you can click on the Pinterest tab up here, or area if you will, field. So you've got 758 for this 5 digital tools to boost your brand in 2012 infographic. Looks like that was really popular. And of course, you notice a lot of infographics on the Chris Voss Show top out in Pinterest, which is Pinterest related material. We can go into Google Plus, and you can see what my low end of Google Plus is, and here's my high end. We've got some Google Plus posts where they've been shared up to several hundred times almost. Stumbleupon, we can do the same thing with Stumbleupon. Delicious. LinkedIn, we can see the top LinkedIn posts, top digs, top tweets, retweeted posts, top Facebook, etc., etc. So super cool data. And the great thing about this is if you mine some of this data and go, okay, so what's really working for our website? What are some of the top shares on our website? What's the things that we're discussing that are making our website very popular, and how can we do more of it? I mean, this thing I'm always telling our clients is, let's take a look at what your top shares are and what's most popular, and let's talk about that some more, because that's what your audience is telling you that they want to listen to. So being able to tap into that's super important. You can see here all the different ones that are getting some of the top posts and top shares. So I really love the data and how they're presenting this. Some of this stuff they're doing with shares by content and Sunburst Tree Map. I'm interested to see how this works. You can also put an embed badge on your site. You can export it to a CSV file if you like. and be able to ship this to clients and be able to show clients maybe how much you're doing for them, how well it's working. With credits in this area, you can see that if you post a tweet, you can take and get like, I think it's like 800 credits that you take and do. They don't have any paid plans yet, but they're working on it. And of course, like I said, we're talking about something that's very brand new and in development. And in your dashboard, it's very simple to get started. You just put in your website address, tell it to run, and it will go through and pull all the different data that you want to take and pull from the website. You'll use your credits up. What's really neat too is it'll send you an email when it's done, or it will send out to your Twitter that, hey, we've gone ahead and taken and done this, and you could read some of this down the side. But I'm super impressed with the quality of their product and the smart way that it's been formatted so that you can easily take a look at the data and graphically and numerically see where your results are for your website. So be sure to check it out. It's at Social Crawlytics, socialcrawlytics.com, and tell them Chris Voss sent you. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. Make sure you check into the Chris Voss Show multiple times a day. Thanks for coming by.